Joining us now is Tom Fitton, the president of Judicial Watch. And Tom, Tom has a new book that's coming out this summer. The book is A Republic Under Assault, the Left's Ongoing Attack on American Freedom, available for pre-order right this very minute. Well, not this moment, maybe a couple of minutes later. Good to have you with us, Tom. Let's start with the president's tweet talking about online voting, mail-in voting. I don't get the sense that the Republican Party is doing a thing about assuring the integrity of this election. There should be, to me, a lot of volunteers at every polling booth in the country. What your reaction to what's being done?
Well, I think both Democrats and Republicans should be nervous about the election. We have 43 million ballots, according to the Washington Post, that are going to be automatically mailed. In New York, they have been swamped with ballots, many of which they were unable to count, meaning that they were invalidated because they were not properly cast. If you want your vote to count, you should go and vote in person. That should be the message from Republicans and Democrats. This vote-by-mail scheme, obviously Democrats and the left wanted it because of the opportunities for fraud, in my view. But in the end, people may not vote by mail and they may not vote in person, which would be a disaster for all parties.
Well, you're concerned about the Democrats. I find surprising because it's the Democrats who want to have mail-in voting. It's pretty clear why they do and what they have done so far. And every instance of voter fraud that I'm aware of has been democratically crafted, inspired, and led. So I'm not so worried about that as I am the fact that the Republican Party, once again, looks like a party that's just ripe for getting rolled, and I don't see energy behind it. I don't see any imagination. I don't see any statement whatsoever about what the Republican Party is doing to assure an election with integrity and security. And by God, I'm so tired of hearing strong letter to follow from the Republicans, whether it's on Capitol Hill or whether it's in their local chapters. This is a real crisis that the president is focusing on.
Well, the parties filed a lawsuit here and there, and you point out the Justice Department. I know we've been filing lawsuits both in North Carolina and Pennsylvania to clean up the rolls under federal law. We're doing the enforcement of the law, not the Justice Department. They've been completely AWOL on dirty voting rolls. 2 million names extra, it looks like, both in North Carolina and Pennsylvania. Billions across the country. Many Republican elected officials have bought into this coronavirus madness and have started.
You're not making me feel better.
No, it's a serious issue, and when I say Democrats and Republicans, I mean voters. People deserve to have their vote counted. And they're being sold this mail-in ballot scam that, in my view, could cause chaos on Election Day. And look, there's a primaries in New York a month later.
So what can we do about it? I mean,
we
know this. The president has been talking about it. We know about it. Now it's time. It's like the commercial. We don't do anything about bank robberies. We just monitor them. I mean, my God, when are people going to actually do something? Republicans are starting to scare me as a do-nothing party. They've got a lot of talk. People talk about strong letters, even lawsuits, Tom, with all respect. And I mean, right now, this is a political moment that means people have got to be, as you say, voting in person, but they've also got to be securing those voting places.
Well, that's true. The Justice Department can take immediate steps to make sure the rolls are clean so that dirty names aren't being mailed. They can secure voting places. They can provide, Lord forbid, provide money to make sure they're properly staffed on Election Day. And right now, though, many ways the train has left the station in terms of mail-in voting. And it ain't going to be pretty because, as people have pointed out in New York, it's been a train wreck in that primary up there where you had tens of thousands of votes being thrown out potentially.
Let me very quickly go to Lindsey Graham. Rod Rosenstein, he brought in, won't talk to President Obama, Hillary Clinton, but meanwhile says that the FBI has been lying through their teeth. Who does he think organized that, supervised it, and inspired Obamagate? Does the name give him like a hint or anything, or is he so obtuse that that is imperceptible?
Yeah, he clearly doesn't want to pick that fight. He ought to. Biden as well, Mrs. Clinton, her lawyers. Look, Durham, it's reported in the New York Times today, hasn't even talked to the primary source of the dossier. The guy who says...
I'm sorry, say that again.
Durham has yet to talk, according to the dossier's source's lawyer, to the key source of the dossier, Danchenko.
Tom Fitton, as always, you know, just inspiring us like the Dickens there with optimism. We appreciate your skepticism. Thank you, Tom.